Isn't that right? Yeah. It's very, very early. The sun's not even up. Yeah. Why are we making a video? Oh man, guys, I have not even had my coffee yet. Nothing. I'm literally like just waking up. So why am I making a video? Well, yesterday was busy. I didn't have a chance, and that's the answer. I said I was going to try and stick to a video every Monday to Friday for the month of December. And I really want to hold true to that. And I'm doing a lot of stuff later today. So the morning time is the time, folks. And I got asked a question that I think is really interesting. You know what that question is already because you've read the comments. Not the comments, the title. Oh my goodness gracious. You read the title. So yeah, we're talking about the most expensive fountain pen that I own. Yeah, we are. That is useless. I got a comment from one of my Patreon followers. Link in the description if you want to check out my Patreon. Help support me there while you get Parker kisses. Yeah, I know. This is even before your playtime. This is why we prioritize the people. And he said that basically, like, he was looking at a couple different pens. Yeah. He was looking at a couple different pens. They're all fairly expensive. So he said that he knew all of them were going to write well and they were all going to be like really great pens because they were expensive. And so we had a bit of a back and forth. And I told him, look, first of all, yes, all the pens that he was talking about, pretty much any one of them is going to be solid. But just because a pen is expensive doesn't mean it's going to be a good one. Because, let's face it, we know that sometimes we could spend $1,000 on a pen and then it still be poo-poos. Like Parker's bum. And I, in fact, did that. There is a fountain pen in my collection that is over 1,000 Canadian dollars. And it was poo-poo. It was poo-poo caca. It did not write. It was not a very good pen. And I'm sure a good chunk of you know exactly what this pen is because I have talked about it before. It is a brand that is well known for being very expensive and for not really having the greatest quality nibbage. They had gold nibs, then they had palladium nibs. Now they have gold nibs again. That's right, people. I'm talking about Visconti. Yeah. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens Arizona Sunset. It's their pen that they kind of come out with once or twice a year. That's like fancier. I don't know. I have the Midnight in London or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I have this one that I've had for many, many years. This one has a palladium nib on it. And that one wrote great. It was no problem. I didn't have a lot of the issues that a lot of people have. I opened up my pen drawer. Now Parker's trying to get into it. I didn't have a lot of the problems that a lot of people had with that. It has a fine nib on that one. Definitely writes more like a medium. This has a gold nib on it. Is an extra fine nib. And I had to have it sent away for someone to manage it because she was bad. She was real bad. So I bought the pen from a local shop here in Toronto called Wonder Pens. Not that they're to blame for the fact that this pen didn't write, because they're not. And I did that because customs fees on this kind of expensive of a pen is just ridiculous. So I did that, was super excited, wanted an extra fine because the fine that I have on the other Viscontis are just too broad. And when I got this one, I was super stoked. The tines were ever so slightly misaligned, but honestly, if you check under a loop, a lot of fountain pens do have mildly misaligned tines, but they still write perfectly fine. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I inked it up, and it sucked. It sucked so bad. It was dry. It was scratchy. It kind of skipped. It was just awful. And so I sent it to Romania to have a good time with Emmy from Pen Venture. And he worked his magic on this nib. He really, really did. And I sent it specifically to him because he sent me a Visconti pen that I reviewed that was a special exclusive to him. Pretty sure they're sold out now. And it was one of the best writing fountain pens I've ever used in my entire life. I was amazed by that nib. It blew every concept of what a good writing fountain pen was out of my brain. And I was stunned. Absolutely stunned. And so I sent this to him. He worked his magic, and now it is beautiful. Now it writes really, really well. And I love it. But it was over $1,000 Canadian. Even, to be fair, for Americans, like, you were, I think, at just a hair under $1,000, but with taxes and stuff, you would have crossed that $1,000 threshold, and it was unusable. It was just horrendous. I think even for somebody who isn't like me and wants like a really, really wet writing fountain pen, it still would have been useless because, like I said, it was kind of scratchy, had some hard starts. It was just bad. It was just bad all around, and I was so disappointed and so disheartened. And I knew that I was running the chance because Visconti has a lot of issues with quality control and making sure their nibs are actually good. I could make a whole video on that, but I won't. Unless you want me to. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want me to, because I gotta come up with like basically 30. Oh boy, she's on the island. I basically got to come up with like 30 video ideas. I have quite a few. I do have quite a few. I've got some stuff here. But anyways, I digress. Wow. This video, guys, is a hot mess. So this is basically all to say that, like, just because you spend a lot of money on a fountain pen does not mean that your nibs are going to be gorgeous. I'm like, honestly, some fountain pens that are pretty inexpensive, like this Kaweco Sport, or heck, even like platinum preppies, which are only like, you know, less than $10. Well, the Kaweco Sport more than that, but the preppy is less than 10. Flippin' Pilot Varsities, some of the best fountain pens ever, and yet, yeah, over $1,000, and it was scum. It was scum between my toes, as Alfalfa would say. Yeah, I mean, they're just not good. Like, I'm looking at some of my pens here, and it's just like, you don't have to spend so much. I mean, was it the Diplomat Magnum? Is that the one? It was like a soft touch. That was one of the best steel nibs I've ever used in my entire life. And yet, again, you have such high expectations for a pen such as this. And it's not. Now it is, of course. But like I said, if I didn't have Emmy from Pen Venture to take care of me, what would I do? And I have had some nibs that I've had to send away. Like, where's my Sailor? The Sailor Pro Gear here, this like brownish one. I had to have this one sent out. I sent this one to Solomon from Toronto Pen Company to take care of. But this, sorry, I just got an email. This I kind of expected. I bought this pen secondhand off of somebody in Australia. And the pen itself arrived in good care, but the nib wasn't. Yeah, it was very dry, and the tines were a little misaligned, so it was slightly scratchy. So Solomon took care of me on this one. But that's totally expected. It came from another pen user, whereas this came straight from the manufacturer. So it's like it's a different ball game, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, all that was basically out of a Patreon message of just because it's expensive does not mean it's going to be the best pen in the world. It should. Every pen you should buy should have some quality assurance behind it, and every pen should write, but that's not the case. Some are definitely obviously worse than others, but if you're looking to buy an expensive fountain pen, please either buy it secondhand and know that you may have to send it away, so get that lined up, or buy it from a retailer that you have a good working relationship with, that you know would be willing to potentially take that pen back and work with you, and or would know someone that you could send it away to, because there's a good chance, especially if it's Visconti, that it may not write the way that you want it to. So I am going to go get some breakfast. I'm going to go get some coffee. Watch the sun come up maybe, and then edit this video and put it up for you guys. I don't know if this is even a good video. I don't know. It's too early to tell right now. It's too early to tell. I did get somebody commenting on this series here that goes from here all the way to the end over here. That is the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, finished by Brandon Sanderson. I did finish that entire series this year. It took me 3 years to actually read the entire 14 books, because I obviously read a lot more in between. And they wanted to know if it was really good. Yes, it is. It's phenomenal. I really like Wheel of Time. Up here, so starting from Malice all the way over to here. This is all books by John Gwynne. These three that are backwards are the same books as these three. It's just these are special editions and they have sprayed edges. 10 out of 10. Recommend those. Love it. Yeah, I still got the morning wheeze. Down here is my Brandon Sanderson shelves. So Mistborn trilogy, 10 out of 10, recommend. Stormlight Archives, book 5 of 5 just came out. I am just shy of halfway through. Absolutely recommend. When I'm done Stormlight Archive, you guys, I'm going to actually start reading Game of Thrones. Believe it or not, I've never read them. Mostly because I was going to, but then the show was out and people told me not to read the book at the same time as the show because they're wildly different. But you know, probably, if I had to pick 2023 and 2024 all-time recommendation, it's actually by an indie author. I'm going to have to move the camera a little bit. Up here. These ones right here. Starting with Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill, or Cahill. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. This series blew me away. He's writing a continuation. The series isn't done. He's writing the fourth book right now. I believe it is supposed to come out in 2025. Blown away. Absolutely blown away. I will reread this series many times. It's basically has some influence of obviously Lord of the Rings, Tolkien, all that kind of stuff. Gives me similar vibes to John Gwynne as well. And this book, this first one, Of Blood and Fire, definitely you feel those influences. But as it continues going on, oh baby, does she come into her own? Like, ooh, look at this beast. This is like Brandon Sanderson level beast of War and Ruin, which is the third book. Let's actually just see how many pages it is. I read this thing like an insatiable beast. Like my life depended upon reading this because it is just that good. It is 995 pages. So not quite Brandon Sanderson, but flippin' close. 10 out of 10 recommend. That series did things to my brain. It altered it in ways I cannot even tell you. But regardless, I'm going to end this video because nobody's probably watching. If you are still watching, write in the comments down below Cahill, Cahill. And I'll see you guys next time. Also, let me know if you've ever had experiences with really expensive fountain pens that didn't end up working out, because I'm curious. Anyway, all right. Parker needs to go play. I'll be back. See ya.